How are you finding it working with this crew so far?
Oh, fantastic! I mean, I love it. I mean, this is compared to what I do like normal day to day. It's a complete change. So a change is, and it's all a learning opportunity, isn't it? So yeah, it's very, very good.
And what is it you do day to day?
Well, by trade, I'm a craft baker, but by career, I am a managing director of my family business.
Oh, and what business is that? Is it baking?
It's a bakery business. It's called Greenhalgh's Craft Bakery in Bolton, Lancashire. And everybody that's from Bolton, they always say, I'm David Smart from Bolton. And they always put Bolton at the end of it. And just next time you see somebody from Bolton, they always do that. It's amazing, really. Anyway, there you go.
So, how did you get into this?
It all started with pantomime. Oh, yes, it did. No, it didn't. Yeah, but it did. Yeah, pantomime. I went to a local Amdram group, Victoria Hall in Bolton, from Bolton, and this guy said, "Hey, you look like a dame. Do you want the part?" And I've never put on a dress before, but since then it's quite nice. No, so ever since then I've played the dame quite a few times. Yeah, and it's just a fun part, and you can really act over the top and out of character and get the laughs, and it's getting the laughs is a fantastic. It's a fantastic part. It's a buzz, getting laughs. It's good. It's good. So yeah, Amdram, and then once you get the bug of Amdram and entertaining and getting the juicier parts, then you think, well, there's another amateur dramatic society, and down in Bolton area and all the way around area, you literally fall over them. There's that many Amdram parts and societies. So you go from society to society, and then you start building a reputation up, and you start to meet people. And then I played with a gentleman, a friend of mine called Robin, who then has recommended me. This is the second time I've done some filming. The first one was for a film for the NHS, National Health Service, playing a particular character in there. So I've been recommended again to play this part, which is great. And then hopefully the director might see me and say, well, recommend to do another part, which would be even better. It's a good diversion from what I do on a normal day to day.
Do you find it difficult at all to go from pantomime then to film?
No, because that's the craft of an actor, isn't it? But on a stage, on a particular set that I like working on is the Whitefield Garricks or a Bolton Little Theatre, where I am a director there. You act in intimate theatre, which is really upfront, close, personal, and you're acting nearer than you and I are talking to the audience. But you cannot drop out of character. So if you're going to learn the lines, you learn the lines, because if you drop a line in front of the audience, you look like a right nana, because then you have to take a prompt. But obviously in this, I did one or two slip-ups, and you just say, well, cut, do it again, which is actually quite liberating, because you can do it over and you can do a do-over until you get it right. On stage you can't.
Is this the first time that you've been doing something filming, or have you done some before?
What, filming? Well, as I said, I did with Robin. I did a film for the NHS, which I had to play a particular character that had a medical complaint. And those sets of films, I think there's 3 in total, were commissioned by the NHS to train professionals within the medical trade, really, which was good, which was really good, because I had the opportunity of acting with my daughter, Georgina, who played my daughter in the film, and she's an Amdrammer as well, my daughter. So it was good doing both, playing with my daughter, acting with my daughter, and doing the filming for the first time. I had to sit in a chair, surrounded by manky tins of beer and old burgers and pizzas and half-eaten, and all over me, and because I had to play a particular character that was sadly depressive. So that was good. It was very, very good.
So when did you get into dramatics? When did you decide from doing bakery that, okay, I'm going to go to this?
Oh my Lord. Crikey, 22 years ago? Easily 22 years ago. Oh God, crikey, yeah. It's just that I actually went to a dinner, black tie, dicky bow job. And as I walked in, it was a Law Society, Bolton Law Society's, from Bolton, Law Society dinner. And the director, a guy called Ray Darby, who obviously I've got to know quite well, he said, David, smart, I want a dame, in the middle of the dinner, for crying out loud, Ray, And then he came up to me and said, I really want to do, can you do this, can you do that, can you do that? And so I went down and I stayed with Victoria Hall for a few years before moving on. So yeah, but that's 22 years ago. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
So it was somebody that came over to you?
It was Ray, yeah, an Amdram director. Obviously saw the size of me, and as you can see, I'm a very shy, retiring person. And I'm a bit like this in sometimes public. And he just came over to me and said, do you fancy part of a dame?
And you'd had no experience in that before, or?
Years ago, at school, and so yeah, and that's when it started. And then from there, I went to, I played in The Wiz, which is like the updated version of The Wizard of Oz, and I played the lion. Yeah. My mama, she was such a strong lady. That one, yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Where was that? Was that in?
That was Middleton.
Oh.
Yeah, Middleton Amateur Dramatic and Operatic Society. That was really, really good because that was a bit of a singing part as well. And then from there, they got me to do a couple of pantos with them as well, which was really good because you had to get mic'd up and everything. I've never had mics before. And there's a sound guy as well. I thought, oh my God, I've hit the big time, And I was, crikey, what was I first? I was the giant in Jack and the Beanstalk. And then after that, I was the evil Jafar, the character, in another pantomime the year after, which was very good.
So it seems like you're adding up quite a few things.
Well, you try to, you try and build your repertoire up. You try and build everything that you do. And then I got asked to be Neville in Neville's Island, which is a Whitefield Garrick theatre. And Whitefield Garrick is a superb intimate theatre. The standard is tremendous. It really is big. And we had to put on a play as though you just landed on a desert island on a stage. The original stage was half the size of this room. And you had 60 people sat all the way around you. And you had to crawl onto stage absolutely dripping. And you had to literally there's a warm bath, you had to sit in it and literally completely, all the way through to your skin and then crawl on stage. And then you had dialoguing, you had to strip off and get redressed again. And because you were wet all the way through, you had to change your underwear because it was wet through. And my wife, God bless her, she said, "You're not getting undressed on stage." So we had to find a towel big enough to go around me so I could strip off completely and redress. And obviously when you're not much on underneath the towel, you're thinking, oh my God, please don't let this towel drop, And then you literally, but by a part of the dialogue, you had to be redressed. And that is actually quite hard. Actually knowing what to do, knowing that there is an end point to be there, and then to get to where you have to be, fully dressed, and then you can move on. Yeah. That was good, that. And then I was in Accrington Pals. Have you heard of Accrington Pals? Where have you been? Oh my Lord! You've heard of the Accrington Pals? No. The Accrington Pals is, well, first of all, it's during World War I. And there was no professional soldiers as we have today. It was all conscript, and it was the local mayor, the local lord of the area raised his own army, and they needed more men because they hadn't got enough for obvious reasons. And then General Haig as in whiskey, Haig, same guy, same family, said, well, a jolly good idea. What we'll do is we'll get all the friends from school in the same class to all join together, and they hit the schools. And all the lads, 15, 16-year-old lads went, hey, we'll go, come on, we'll go and fight the Boche and give them what for. So they were the pals, and they fought in peer groups. The trouble is they got slaughtered in peer groups, literally, especially at the Battle of the Somme, where there was tens and tens of thousands of young boys slaughtered, you know, on the first day. But Accrington Park, this guy wrote this play where I played Sergeant Major Rivers, was one of the recruiters, and it's an awesome piece of theatre, especially in either Thrust Theatre or in the Round. And I played it at Bolton Little Theatre, which it's a 90-seater Thrust Theatre, virtually in the Round. And right at the very end of that play, it's so intense that I stood up and said, you know, by the time, attention, by the right, quick march, you glory, pin drop. And then the lights went down and you could hear, and all the women were crying. And then we disappeared then, of course. And then at the time, it was Remembrance Sunday, and we all came on with poppies. Well, that just floored everybody. Now that is true theatre, isn't it? Right to the end. God! But the trouble is, my wife and my mother-in-law came, and they were in floods of tears. They went, I'm not coming to that play again. Yeah. But yeah.
So from this, are you hoping to get anything from this, or are you just kind of going to keep it the same? Like, what are you hoping to get from this?
By profession, I'm managing director of my family's bakery. That's where I earn my money. Yeah. That's how I keep my grandchildren in toys. But if there is another guy out there that would like this guy, please get in contact. Yes, because I'd love to carry on doing theatre or doing film. Yeah, I'd love it. Of course I would. So it's like great fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's tremendous. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, please, get in touch. Yeah, please.